What's up dear viewers, welcome back to a new episode. In this one we have a ton of work ahead of us, so sit back, relax and enjoy the show. In one of the previous episodes, I've already done some things detailing related, and that is an undercarriage clean, wheel arch clean, and an engine bay clean, so that is already taken care of. Speaking of previous episodes, I've done many other things to this car, such as a complete brake overhaul and changing a bunch of other parts, as well as some troubleshooting and just fixing various faulty things with the car. So if you've missed that, make sure to check those episodes out on my channel. But enough talking about the previous episodes now, let's get cracking with what's ahead of us. As we can see, this car is worse for wear and need a lot of detailing and a minor restoration. And that's exactly what we're going to do. This episode is proudly presented by Autodude.se, which is my personal favorite online detailing store. Pretty much every single detailing product used in this video can be found at their website. And if you live in Sweden and are interested in a really good discount, then check out the description in this video for an exclusive discount link and all the details regarding that. First step of the detailing process, I'm hitting the car with a 3-in-1 pre-wash degreaser that will dissolve tar spots, iron contaminants and organic base dirt. For the more stubborn tar spots, however, I had to go over a second round with a dedicated tar remover. Before rinsing, I'm covering the car with a layer of Built Hamber snow foam to encapsulate the pre-cleaner and to further boost the pre-cleaning stage. After a lot of pre-rinsing, it was time for the contact wash, and since we're going to polish the car, I'm going with a wax and sealant free shampoo. If you're washing a car prior to doing a paint correction, don't be afraid to give the car an extra good scrub. Of course, with that being said, you don't want to inflict unnecessary wash-induced scratches if you don't have to, but it's really important to have a perfectly squeaky clean car before paint polishing. Last step of the exterior cleaning process is to clay the entire paintwork as well as the windows. There we go, finally done with the cleaning stage. Definitely took a while. I know that the car might not have looked that dirty before, but I can tell you it definitely needed a lot of cleaning, and especially like decontamination and stuff like that. And once you got going, especially around the lower sections of the car, behind all of those plastic side skirts and whatnot, the dirt just kept on coming. So yeah, it took a little while, but we're finally there. Honestly, it looks a lot better as it is right now, but obviously we got a lot more work to do. The paint definitely needs a polish and paint enhancement. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and remove those front fenders, try to solve that rust somehow. And in order to do that, I think you also need to remove the front bumper. That's usually how it is. And also I can take the opportunity then to go ahead and restore those front headlights that has been faded by the UV rays. So the perfect opportunity to do that as well. So let's go ahead and back it up on the lift and continue with just that. This front bumper was quite easy to remove, just a couple of clips underneath and above, and since the inner wheel arches are already removed, it just pops out of there as well. With the front bumper removed, we can start the process of removing the fenders. And there we go, one rusty fender removed. Even though the fenders are rotted out, we can see that the structural body on the inside is perfectly intact. So the fenders are now finally off the car. Only question now is, where do I go from here? As far as I'm concerned, I have 4 options. One is to try to restore these fenders as good as I can. Second option is to try to source a better set of used fenders. Doesn't really matter what color it is, I can just repaint them as long as they are in better condition than these and rust free. 3, I can buy aftermarket fenders. Only problem there is that the fitment can be really bad. So I'm not really sure if I want to take the risk there. After all, they are a couple of thousand Swedish crown each. So yeah. And the 4th option is to buy original ones, OEM ones from Volvo, but they are crazy expensive. So I'm just not going to do that. That's not really an option for me. So I'm actually just going to remove this rust right here, see what lies underneath, if these are even savable at all. So I've actually gone ahead and bought a sandblaster that you use outdoors, so let's go ahead and assemble it. To go along with my new sandblaster, I would like some sort of sandblasting platform or table if you will, so let's go ahead and make one out of some scrap metal that I had laying around. As we're going to find out, I ditched this whole idea with trying to save the old fenders. Honestly, the repair wasn't that bad, but I just couldn't bear the idea of having them repaired like this, so I went ahead and bought 2 new aftermarket fenders. Anyone who has replaced non-OEM body parts knows that the fitment can be a bit wonky, so always make sure they will fit and do any necessary adjustments before sending them off to paint. And sending them off to a paint shop is exactly what I did after test fitting, so while we wait for them to be finished, let's proceed with some other work. As we can see right here, the rear diffuser is in terrible condition. Hopefully I can save this one at least, so let's give it a go. I'm happy to say that the rear diffuser was successfully repaired and is now looking 1,000 times better than before. As far as the polishing and paint correction goes, I'm gonna keep it relatively simple in this one. I'm mostly gonna be using this 3-in-1 polish here from Mancerna, which also leaves behind some paint protection. And for the more trouble areas, if I have deeper scratches, I'm gonna be using this heavy cut compound from Mancerna and a microfiber pad, which is good at cutting, but it's also pretty good at leaving behind a good finish, shiny finish. And for the deeper scratches that's here and there on the car, I'm probably going to wet sand them out first on some of those places and then go ahead and polish them out. So we have a lot of surface to cover, so let's get right to it. After 2 rounds with a 3-in-1 polish, the paint was looking a whole lot better. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough with only 1 pass, as the paint was in pretty bad condition, and also these Volvos does come with some pretty hard paint. I spot treated the deeper scratches with my 2-inch rotary as it removes material very quickly. And then I just went over those areas again with a DA polisher to get rid of the buffer trails. Before polishing the front sections of the car, I filled in all of the rock chips with some paint, and this paint that I picked up from the local paint shop was a really good match, so the fill-ins were practically unnoticeable. Now that the car is fully polished, let's go ahead and apply a layer of durable spray sealant to 1. Get rid of any lingering polishing residue, but to also offer the paint a more resilient protection than what's offered in the 3-in-1 polishing compound. And with the exterior paint now being done, except for the bumper and fender that is, let's tend to the headlights. For the right one, I'm going with the classical method of sanding from a coarse grit to a very fine grit and then polishing to a high shine. And for the left one, I'm going to sand until I reach a medium grit, and then I'm gonna be applying a 2K clear coat just to experiment a little bit and see what method I prefer. For the glass, I'm using Geon's Clearview Repel, which does not only clean the windows but also leave behind a coated water-repelling surface. The exterior is done for now, and I'm still waiting for the fenders to be done, so let's take care of the interior in the meanwhile, and as we can see, it's definitely in need of a good deep clean. First step, as with any interior clean, is to remove loose trash and to remove the floor mats. So here we can see the floor mats that were in the car, and as we can see here, the driver's side has a hole in it. It's beyond saving, and unfortunately you can't just buy one floor mat from Volvo, you have to buy a complete set. So I just placed an order on a complete set of new OEM Volvo floor mats, and this time I went with rubber floor mats. I think it just makes a lot more sense with the climate that we have here in Sweden. So yeah, I'm not going to even bother with these, clean them or anything, because a new set is on the way. So yeah, I think that will improve the appearance of the interior a lot. There was a lot of dog hair in the rear trunk compartment, and that's where this thing comes in handy, a rubber pet hairbrush. After cleaning the leather seats, it's important to re-moisturize them, and here I'm using Geon's leather coat, which after it dries restores the leather's plushness and new matte-like finish. The new floor mats just arrived, so let's get them in the car. They were around 80 euros, which honestly isn't that bad, and it makes a huge impact on how the interior is perceived. Last thing to do regarding the interior is to swap out the old pollen filter. I went with an active silver ion filter that I got from my friends at oljemagasinet.se. The interior is now done and the fenders are back from the paint shop. Before mounting the new fenders, I made sure to cover the insides with a thick layer of durable rust proofing. Is this overkill? Probably, considering the new fenders will outlive the entire car now. But it's a 5-minute extra step, so it's definitely worthwhile doing. Before putting the bumper back on, let's go ahead and replace the R-Design emblem and this cracked light. I didn't polish the bumper before removing it, so let's do it now. The front bumper unsurprisingly had the most amount of rock chips on it, and right here you can see me purposely apply too much paint because when you go about polishing it, the peaks and bumps of the paint drops will be smoothed out. The right corner had a lot of paint transfer and scratches that I managed to get out, even on the lower textured pieces. Before putting the wheels back on, let's go over them real quick with a polisher to brighten up the face of the rim. This actually made them look a whole lot shinier as they were very dull and scratched up before. Speaking of wheels, I picked up this set of winter wheels that I will include when I sell the car. The rims here were in really bad condition, they definitely need a respray to look anywhere good, but at least I cleaned them off, and also the tires themselves are in very good condition, and that's really what counts when it comes to winter wheels. The very last thing I want to do before presenting you with the aftershots is to renew the key fob cover. It's small details like this that adds up in the end and will greatly improve the first impression of the car when presenting it to a future buyer. Unfortunately, the new cover didn't come with a Volvo logo, but after some heat I could pry it right off. And there we go, my good people. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and feel free to like, comment and subscribe if you already haven't. Videos like this take a lot of time and effort for me to make, and it means the world to me when you guys interact with my videos, and it really helps me grow. With that being said, take good care, have a good one, and I will see you in the next episode.